Hi, good evening, everyone. This is VINEET Pandey in front of all of you, and let's go for an attendance. Online students will write the names and states and online student. Offline students name, state, and offline, and all the new students should write new students. I should know my class. Go for your attendance. Online students should write online batch. Offline student offline batch, and new students. Good evening to everyone. Please go for the attendance. Jack Rollins. I'm downloading this music device, Spotify. This is the time I should go for music. Generally, I don't have any song in my phone. Whenever I get time, I generally go for YouTube tutorials or I watch, documentaries. So now in the quarantine, I'm doing a lot of things, and one of them is downloading a music app. Somebody suggested me from US. One of my friend lives in US, America, so he said that go for Spotify. You know why attendance is required? So that you can feel that you are actually the part of class. You are not an ignored and forgotten one. You are an important part of the class. Thank you, Nidhi Chaube, for mentioning Spotify once again. Akash Vishwas, if you're from graduation, if you're in graduation, tell me what you help you need. I will help you. Yes, Neha, आज कैब चेंज होगी. We will start the class within 5 minutes. 236 students have joined. I'm waiting my assistants to share the link with a lot of other people, and soon we'll start. So Sheila, Tiger is not talking to me. Tiger doesn't like taking bath. And day before yesterday, I cheated Tiger. I called him to play on the terrace, and when he came, I gave him a good bath with cold water. So he's not talking to me. Yes, I know cooking. संभवी मुझे cooking आती है. मैगी मैगी बनाना आता है. बाकी I can cook a lot of other things, but I am sure nobody will like the taste. Karthik, if you want to read two novels, it's very simple. Find out two special novels. Go for Ice Candy Man by Bapsi Sidhwa and Dark Dancer by Balachandra Rajan. Read these things. हेलो रसिक, बहुत बढ़िया, आपने 4 बार नेट किया, बहुत बड़ी बात है. यस निशा, टाइगर नाराज है. यस शालिनी, अर्थक्वेक आया है दिल्ली में, बट क्या कर सकते हैं. कोरोना इज द बिग थ्रेट. अर्थक्वेक से बड़ा थ्रेट कोरोना है. Ice Candy Man by Bapsi Sidhwa and The Dark Dancer by Balachandra Rajan. दोनों पढ़ लो. फरहा मंजूर वेस्टलैंड बहुत टफ है और मैं आपको इजी वे में ऑडियो में समझा दूंगा. वीडियो के लिए आई डोंट हैव माय असिस्टेंट टू एडिट, सो आई कैन नॉट गो फॉर वीडियो राइट नाउ. Parul Agarwal, I always introduce the topic. I never ever start without introducing the topic. It is like sometimes you join late, so you find me in between the lecture. You can watch it from starting. VK Creations, please write your message once again. अंजू चौधरी शेक्सपियर के 2 प्लेज में, शायद एक में सबटाइटल है, एक या 2 में. Pericles, the Prince of Tyre is a complete title. Twelfth Night, What You Will, that is a direct subtitle. One more work has a subtitle. प्रणाम सभी को प्रणाम. आइस कैंडी मैन की अर्थ है शायद ना, दीपा मेहता की वाटर एंड अर्थ मूवी है. चलो, सो we have here around 332 students. How many of you are comfortable if I teach you by 9 o'clock? 9 to 10. Plus, yes करो यहाँ पे 9 to 10 कितना पढ़ा जाता है रात को, या 9:30? Sandeep Gangwar, I know you. You are a JRF. I know you. Pooja Vishwas, we will definitely go on literary theory. Aha, I cannot read all the yes, all the no. Ruchi Vijay, if you want PDF notes, WhatsApp us on our numbers. जितेंद्र, आज कोई ड्यूटी नहीं है. आज कोई ड्यूटी नहीं है. Puritan don't have to make an appearance in 1567. Puritans were always there. Puritans बहुत पहले से थे. Just remember they came to power after 1605. The place of honor and the palace of honor. 9:30 कर लो. अगर if you have to leave Ramayan, go for 9:30. Azhar Muhammad is saying कि Corona has come, earthquake has come, asteroid also coming 29th of April. तो मर जाएंगे यार. That will also be historical. Don't be scared of your death. Just make sure it's historical. बड़ी चीज होगी. मैं तो गिरते हुए देखूंगा लाइव. And I'll hug my pet tiger. बाकी जो होगा देखा जाएगा. सबका मालिक एक. Yeah, Ramlal, congratulations. God bless you. Chalo, so what we can do is, see why I'm saying 9:30. I'm saying 9:30 because most of the women, they can cook their dinner by 8:30, by 9, and by 9:30 it's time we sleep. So at 9:30 you can wait for 1 hour or 40 minutes and we can study. There'll be no difference, no trouble. By 7 o'clock, many of you have to go for vegetable chopping, evening snacks, evening tea, taking care of kids and everyone. That's what I'm saying. That either we should go for 9:30 or we will have to go for morning 9:30. So if you go for morning 9:30, many of you are, preparing breakfast. And most of the women, they are not able to come to the classes. That's why they go for online. So this is actually to help all the women in our nation. अरे नेट का फॉर्म फिल कर दो. डोंट बिस्मिल्लाह. सी आई एम नॉट अ फेमिनिस्ट. And that doesn't mean if I'm not a feminist, I'm against women. To respect women, I don't need any category. I have a sister, I have a mother, and I always want them to have their life in a beautiful way. So I just respect women. But don't give me a tag name called feminist. ऐसा नाम मत दो. So we'll go for 9:30. Fine. कल से 9:30 try करते हैं. And those who are not able to join, don't worry. Video will be available. You can watch us later. So let's get back. 427 students have joined us. We're going to talk about Victorian novels and Victorian Compromise. Write down this thing: the development of Victorian Compromise, a tension which aroused between science and religion. The greatest writer, Matthew Arnold, he represents Victorian pessimism. Keep writing. लिखते जाओ शाबाश. The greatest writer, Matthew Arnold, he keeps on talking about the pessimism, the pessimistic attitude of Victorians, while Alfred Lord Tennyson and Robert Browning, they speak for Victorian positivity, Victorian optimism. So, two important writers: Arnold for pessimism, Browning for optimism, and Tennyson mostly optimism, but in some works pessimism. And Victorian literature's father is known Alfred Tennyson. Alfred Tennyson is the father of Victorian literature. Now stop writing comments so that I can focus and I can teach. Otherwise, I will get diverted. मुझे मिटाना भी नहीं आता है. How to hide chat? So I keep reading chat and I get diverted. तो अभी no chats. अभी stop. Okay, let's study. थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते हैं. Okay. So Victorian Compromise, we're talking about the science and development. This is the time of 19th century where the transatlantic cable was laid. Transatlantic phone cable डाला गया था. And as I told you, Queen Victoria made a call to the third president of America. Then there were many reforms of 1832, 1837, Chartism, 1834. And after this, I told you that Queen Victoria became Empress of India in 1876. Now, as the science was increasing, the steam engine, then the cotton mills, big industries, then big ships, people started losing their faith in religion. This was the time that people like Matthew Arnold and others, they felt a strong need. They felt a strong need of reestablishing faith in the church. And the result was Oxford movement, also known as Tractarian movement. Oxford movement, Tractarian movement is a religious movement started by John Henry Cable, Henry Newman, and these people, they reintroduced religion. The best example of Victorian pessimism is given by Matthew Arnold in his famous work Dover Beach. You can also read Empedocles on Etna. In these works, Matthew Arnold talks about futility of materialistic life. He says that materialistic life has no value. If you read Dover Beach, imagine a person after marriage gets very happy. Matthew Arnold, after marriage, went for honeymoon. And there at the ocean, standing at the ocean, at the shore of the ocean, he became philosophical. He said, "The sea is calm tonight." The very opening line, "The tranquil sea is calm tonight." It reflects the gloomy mood Arnold has. And then he says, "The sea is calm tonight," then the glimmering moon, the lights. So he talks about the beauty and says that waves are rolling towards us, and the rolling waves bring us the eternal note of sadness. He says eternal note of sadness. So लहरें हमारे पास बार बार आ रही हैं और लहरें एक ही बात बता रही हैं कि जो सैडनेस है वो हमेशा है, मिजरीज है वो हमेशा रहेंगी. यू विल मिजरीज, eternal note of sadness. Sophocles long ago heard it on the shore of Asian. The same चीज सोफोक्लिस ने बहुत पहले सुनी थी. That life has many troubles, many issues. He says, he talks to his wife. He says, "The sea of faith was once too full and wrapped the earth like a girdle. But now the world that seems full of joy has no love, no joy." And then he talks to his lady. He says, "Ah, love, let's be true to one another." And ending up, he says, "This is the world where people are fighting for no reason." He says, "Where ignorant armies clash by night." This is Dover Beach. He's mentioning Crimean War, question of net exam. In the famous line where ignorant armies clash by night, which war has been mentioned by Matthew Arnold? The War of Crimean country, Crimea, 1863, Crimean War. Now, we talk about the positive side. Robert Pippa passes. It's a lyrical drama in 4 acts. Many of you don't even know the names. I'm sure जितने new students हैं उनको नहीं पता होगा. तो अब एक काम करो, जितने भी यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स हैं अभी देखो पिप्पा पासेस कितने लोग पढ़ते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल दे डोंट स्टडी पिप्पा पासेस, दे अवॉइड इट, बट they should focus on Pippa passes because Pippa passes is one of the most motivating poetry. Pippa is a young girl, a small girl of 9 to 10 years, and she is singing her song passing by the streets and meets 4 different type of people in 4 different moods, mostly nostalgic, gloomy. And Pippa is singing her song. God is in his heaven and all is well with the world. All is right with the world. So the song has lines, God is in his heaven and all is right with the world. So all is well with the world. This song inspires 4 people. Every act has a character. 4 acts, 4 people. They get inspired that if this young girl can be very happy and can fight against all the adversities, saying that God is in his heaven and one day things will be settled, then why can't we be happy? And how can we forget Mr. Robert Browning for writing Prospice? What does he say in Prospice? How many of you remember? He says, I was ever a fighter, so one fight more, and the last. And Robert Browning is the one who always believed in getting another chance. In the last fight together, he says, the lines are, sorry, I missed the lines. Okay. In the last fight together, he says, it's in my mind. I won't look at the comments. I know many of you can tell me. Last fight together. Who many try, but who succeed? Fail I alone in the words and deeds. All men strive, but who succeed? मेरे से पहले किसने बताया? देखे तो मेरे से पहले किसने बताया? सी मेरे से पहले किसने नहीं बताया? बड़े लोग. आप लोग ना जो रिन्यूअल बैच वाले हो, आपको आना चाहिए, स्पेशली रिन्यूअल बैच स्टूडेंट्स एंड ऑल द न्यू स्टूडेंट्स. यू हैव बीन गिवन द ऑडियो लेक्चर्स ऑफ विक्टोरियंस. क्या कर रहे हो? आपसे पहले मुझे याद है. Fail I alone in the words and deeds. All men strive, but who succeed? I forgot 2 lines, but I remember the theme. He says that, yes, let's accept that in love story, I could not fulfill my promises, but everyone tries. Who gets success? He says, fail I alone, words and deeds. All men strive, but who succeed? So he says, it's okay. Even if the success is not there, but try, everybody does that. And then remember this point, the beautiful line. I love Robert Browning for this thing. What does he say in his famous work, Rabi bin Izra? Rabi bin Izra में क्या बोलता है? Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be. This is something amazing that I love. And then we go for Tennyson, the man who made a balance between Victorian optimism, Victorian pessimism. Tennyson's famous work, Lotus Eaters. In the opening line, you will find out courage. He said. So here we have a character, and the words inverted comma we have courage. Courage, comma, he said, and pointed towards the shore. So he said, come on, this is the shore here. That's the beach. Let's go and sit. Now remember this thing, guys. Famous work, Lotus Eaters by Tennyson, deals with Ulysses. Ulysses, the great king of Ithaca. Please write, likhte jana. The great king of Ithaca. Participated in Trojan War. Was one of the greatest warrior and a smart man. That after battle of 10 years, when the Trojans were defeated and Troy was destroyed, where Achilles, Hector, Ajax, many of these people, they died. Ulysses returned to his native place. So when Ulysses was returning, He lost the navigation seal, the navigation device, and didn't know where to sail in the ocean, the big ocean. He had no direction, and they lost the way for next 10 years. For next 10 years, total 20 years. So next 10 years, he kept on wandering in the sea. They were hungry, thirsty, scorched with the hot sun. And here the poetry starts. So the man who says courage is actually Ulysses. They may ask you a smart question. Who says courage? Ulysses. They go to the island, they reach there, and they were so hungry that they found a lotus and started eating. After eating lotus, they started feeling sleepy, lazy, and they all lie down at the beach, started enjoying the breeze, the most beautiful weather near the beach, windy, what thandi hawa aati hai, it's very cold wind, and started listening the songs of the birds, larks, and the roaring musical sound of the waves with half open lids, aankhein aadhi khuli hui. They were actually drugged. And here poet mentions us that they consumed opium, afim khali. And the philosophy comes. Philosophy kya aati hai? That why should we work hard? Because now they're all drugged and moreover already very troubled. अब ध्यान से सुनो, now focus. They're all drugged. They were lost in the sea. They're enjoying. They have eaten a lot of food, opium. They're totally drowsy. And then they start talking about the value of hard work. They say, why to work hard when we all have to die? You will also go to the grave. I will also go to the grave. Then what is the value of 8 net? Think about it. Ambani will also go. Thomas Gray, he said that all beauty, all paths of glory lead us but to the grave, and awaits alike the inevitable hour. So जाना तो सबको वही है. Then why to work hard? Why to go for PhD, 25 papers published, when in next birth you have to start you from LKG only? What do you say? क्यों पढ़ना है? क्यों करनी थी मेहनत? अरे Momita Pal remembers my line. Yes, Momita. The philosophy is अजगर करे न चाकरी, पंछी करे न काम, दास मलुका कह गए सबके दाता राम. The philosophy is that God will feed you. It's okay. Don't worry. Whatever is written in your destiny, you will get it. So why to run after those opportunities? Why don't we sit idle, enjoy the beauty of nature, and just pray for the things? And then one of them says, no, we are human beings, we are man, we are the best and better creation of God. We are the superior race. Whatever we do is not for us, but for the coming generations. Socho, just imagine, today I'm 8 times net. When somebody asked me, why are you 8 times net? I said, now people will be sure that, yes, we can do it. So I became the man who did 8 times net. Now people, those who are 2 times net, 3 times net, they'll be very much sure that, yes, anyone can do that because I have set an example. It's possible. There was a mountaineer. He would climb Everest in every season. 13, 14 times he climbed. So they asked him that, why do you climb Everest every time? He says, because it's there. It challenges me. And net challenges me. Net is not that easy. I keep appearing. Maza aata hai har baar. So the same thing that whatever we do, now there will be somebody who will try to break my record. And in an attempt to break my record, will become a far better teacher than me. उसकी मेमोरी और अच्छी होगी. उसको बहुत कुछ आता हो. So technically, we need a milestone to run. We need a target to run. So I have become a target. And people will definitely cross me. That's what they do. In Lotus Eaters, they say that whatever we are doing is for the coming generations. And then they go for the journey again. Imagine in Ulysses, there's a beautiful line. When he calls his comrades and people, he says that, come on, let's go for the journey once again. He says, how dull it is to make a pause, to be unburnished, not to shine in use. Not to shine in use. A sword which has no value in fight. What is the value of those things? So he says that Let's go, and I will seek a newer world. I will drink life to the lees. This is the optimism presented by Tennyson through Lotus Eaters and Ulysses. Now let's see how Tennyson also talks about pessimism. In the famous work to Thomas, in the famous work, yes, that's very important line, Shiva. I am the part of everything which I have met. I love that line. Now, famous poetry Tithonus, it is a man, he is loved by a goddess, and he prays the goddess to give him a blessing of immortality. So Tithonus is a handsome young man. There is a princess, a goddess, a fairy. She is in love with him, and he says that if you love me, give me one boon. She says, okay, I love you, so ask me any boon. And he says, make me immortal. She says, okay, tathastu, blessed, be immortal, go. And now the poetry starts. Try to relate. Now the poetry starts. He says that I am of 400 years now. Says things decay, everything will decay. But Thomas, you will never die. Why? Because why did you long for immortality? Immortality was not prescribed for human being. Why did I try to cross the limits? Why I wanted to become immortal? Now I am a 400 years. I cannot die. His condition is very bad. He is very old. His bones have broken, crushed into pieces. His skin is touching ground. He has got wrinkles. He actually forgot to mention that I want to be immortal with young forever. क्या कहना भूला वो? क्या कहना भूल गया? He wanted to say, he should have said that I want to be immortal and exam में भूलना नहीं. Never forget an exam. Wanted to be forever 21. किसको समझ में आया forever 21 वाला example? Let's see किसको समझ में आया. He wanted to be forever 21. दिल्ली वालों को तो बहुत जल्दी पता चलेगा. दिल्ली, बैंगलोर, चंडीगढ़. संगीता बताइए क्या पॉइंट है? फॉरएवर 21 का क्या पॉइंट है? ना यंग फॉरएवर नहीं. ना कम ऑन गाइस, इट्स अ ब्रांड. कपड़ों का ब्रांड है, क्लॉथ्स का. फॉरएवर 21 लड़कियों को पता होगा. इट्स अ फीमेल ड्रेसिंग ब्रांड. तो मैंने आपको मजाक में फॉरएवर 21 बोला है, ब्रांड का नाम लिया. इट्स अ ब्रांड, क्लॉथिंग ब्रांड. रिमेंबर दिस पॉइंट. व्हाट डिड डॉक्टर फॉस्टस से? फॉस्टस ने क्या बोला था इन डॉक्टर फॉस्टस? उसने बोला था कट द ब्रांच व्हिच हैज ग्रोन अप टू द लॉन्स. फॉस्टस आल्सो सेड दैट नेवर एवर ट्राई to reach something which is not in the limits of mankind. Never try to explore. That was the chorus song. And here Tennyson says that we should never intervene in the rules and regulations made by God. If God wanted us to be young and immortal, God must have given us immortality as a gift. How many of you remember Prometheus? Prometheus was a god and gave it to mankind. And Prometheus was tied to a mountain. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स वालों को पता भी होगा कि प्रोमीथियस कौन से माउंटेन पे बांधा था. ऑल द ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स टेल मी, प्रोमीथियस कौन से माउंटेन पे बांधा था? आई हैव टॉट यू दिस थिंग इन स्पेशल लेक्चर, शैली का प्रोमीथियस अनबाउंड में. प्रोमीथियस हैज बीन टाइड ऑन अ माउंटेन. ईगल्स आर लेफ्ट टू फीड ऑन हिज लिवर, एंड व्हाटएवर दे ईट, दैट लिवर कम्स बैक. वेरी गुड संतोष, बहुत बढ़िया. प्रोमीथियस इज टाइड ऑन इंडियन कैकेसस, मींस हिंदू कुश पर्वत. बहुत बढ़िया फॉर माय ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, बहुत बढ़िया. आपके अलावा किसी को नहीं आएगा ये, याद रखना. एंड ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स हु आर लिसनिंग, इफ यू डिडंट नो दैट, देन स्टार्ट वर्किंग हार्ड, बिकॉज नेट इज नॉट दैट इजी. इफ पीपल आर नॉट टीचिंग यू इन दिस वे, दे आर चीटिंग यू. बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर थिंग्स. नाउ, डिड यू गेट द आइडिया बोथ ऑफ दीज थिंग्स? सो now this fervor was going on, the optimism, pessimism. And who supported Matthew Arnold's pessimism or the religious point? Tractarian movements, Oxford movements. And while Browning was celebrating discoveries, industrial revolution, development. Now the most important thing, Crystal Palace, which was built in 1848. There was a question in June 2010 exam, who was the designer of Crystal Palace? Now I taught you these things. Now remember this thing. The designer of Crystal Palace, Mr. Paxton, Mr. Paxton, Paxton, was the designer of Crystal Palace. It was the first ever built mall. Thomas Paxton बोलते हैं, sorry, Joseph Paxton, yes. Joseph Paxton, पैरों मच्छर काट रहे हैं. Mosquitoes are, enjoying the feast. They are biting me. So, Joseph Paxton. Joseph Paxton was designer of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace was the first ever built mall of glass. शीशे का mall था. Why Crystal Palace, made in 1848, is famous? Why net exam had a question? The design of Crystal Palace. Because in 1851, England presented the best ever exhibition of the world, known as the Great Exhibition of 1851. So the Crystal Palace Mall became the hub of that exhibition, which was a message to the world about Victorian supremacy, Victorian superiority. England was at the top of the world in 1850, and the Great Exhibition of 1851 proved it. Will you remember all these things? Now remember this thing, that you have to read books related to 2 points, the aristocratic writings and the poor writings. The writers dealing with poor class, Dickens, Hardy, Anthony Trollope. Anthony Trollope talked about political measures also. Then people writing about factory novels, Mrs. Elizabeth Gaskell. People writing about the rural England, George Eliot. People talking about love stories in rural England, Bronte sisters. And people talking about the rich people, aristocrats, Silver Fork Spoon novels, the group of Silver Fork group of novels, Silver Fork group of writers, like Benjamin Disraeli, who wrote Sybil. So Victorians have many writers. Then we have philosophers like Carlyle. We have philosophers like Lord Macaulay. We have philosophers like John Ruskin. So what you have to remember is that Victorian has many writers, but which are more important? Browning, Tennyson, Arnold, Lady Browning. Don't forget her 2 famous sonnets. Then Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, and out of those Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, that girl, the sister of D.Z. Rossetti, Christina Rossetti, she is more important. And after these writers, we have to go for Oxford movements. Then we go for the novelist, and here we have many novelists. So George Eliot is number 1, very important. Then comes Dickens, Hardy, and others. I'll be teaching you all these things one by one. Share this video with everyone. Help everyone. एक चीज याद रखना, only hard work will not help you. You also need blessings. And blessings only comes to you when you become selfless. So if you are preparing with my videos, thinking that your best friend should not come to know about me, then technically you are not a right person to deserve success. Always have the feeling of sharing. Remember this thing, this is the one family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And this is the time of need. A friend in need is a friend indeed. इस वक्त ज्यादा जरूरत है, नेशनल इमरजेंसी है, एक दूसरे की मदद करो. ठीक है, धन्यवाद, थैंक यू.